Hello there, Mr Sykes here again, out in my garden, and you'll realise why in a little while. First of all, let's get this out of the way. I've got some more jokes for you. So, why were the early days of history called the Dark Ages? Because there were so many nights. Get it? Another one. Why is England the wettest country? Because the Queen has reigned for years. Get it? Reigned. Okay. What kind of lighting did Noah use for the ark? You'll like this one. Floodlights. Floodlights. Okay. A maths one here. Who made King Arthur's Round Table? Circumference. Get it? Circumference. Okay. An English joke. Why is an English teacher like a judge? Because they both give out sentences. Get it? Sentences. Oh, there's no pleasing you lot, is there? So the reason why I'm out in my garden is because of this book, The Lion and the Unicorn. And it's written by Shirley Hughes, who's the author of It's Too Frightening for Me as well. So can you remember from the first film that I did? She was born in 1927 and she is an illustrator as well. So all her books, she actually illustrated and did all the paintings for them. And I'll show you some of the paintings will come up as I'm reading the story, so you can actually see she's really quite talented. Has won lots and lots of awards for it, and now she's been awarded a CBE for all her what she's done for literature and for illustrations in books. So, The Lion and the Unicorn. The Lion and the Unicorn is about a young boy who is evacuated. So, at the beginning of the Second World War, he was evacuated out of London because of the Blitz. So the Blitz was where we had all the bombing, where the Germans wanted to try and bomb and all the Londoners out of their homes. So the children were evacuated into the countryside for safety. So Lenny, we find, is evacuated into a big old house owned by Lady Devas. And in the house as well, there are 3 other evacuees, all girls, and he feels a little bit like an outsider, and one of the girls as well is a little bit of a bully, and he gets bullied a lot, and he has to, he has to find what to do and things, and he finds a special place in the garden. We're going to read all about that now. So Lenny took with him his most prized possession, and that was his father's cap badge from off his cap. His father's in the army and is away fighting, and on the cap badge there is a lion and a unicorn, and his father's told him that the lion stands for courage and the unicorn stands for beauty. So we're now going to join Lenny after his first night at Lady Devas's house. He's not seen the countryside before. He doesn't know what the countryside is. And so now he's going to open the window and see what he sees. Lenny woke very early while the girls were still asleep. He could hear faraway stirring noises in the house and faint echoing footsteps, but no one came. He got out of bed, pattered over to the window and pulled the black curtain aside. His mouth fell open. He looked out over a jumble of roofs and chimneys. Not the squat black kind like they had in London, but a fairground of barley sugar shapes with grinning gargoyle waterspouts winking in the sun. Beyond that still, wrapped in a haze, were gardens, outhouses, meadows with great spreading trees, and humped up hills rising behind like a cut-out paper shape. So this was the country. He had never seen anything like this before. The great house which Lenny had come to was very old. It had countless rooms. Lady DeVas, who owned the place, lived in one part, Nanny in another. The army of servants who had once looked after the house and garden had now shrunk down to Mrs B, who cooked, Nellie, who helped with the cleaning and washing up, and an old gardener called Bill Penny. The evacuees had their breakfast in a big kitchen, as big as the synagogue Lenny went to at home. It's warm in there, but Lenny was shy and miserable. Nellie smiled at him. There was porridge for breakfast with plenty of milk and thick slices of bread and marge. But Mrs B was cross when Lenny would not eat the bacon that she gave him. "There's good food wasted," she said. "I'll not have that," she scolded. "We don't eat bacon in our family," said Lenny in a low voice. Everyone stopped eating and stared at him. Joyce's eyes were round as marbles and as hard as them as well. Even Winnie stopped grizzling. Lenny felt his ears turning pink, but he was stubborn. He thought of Mum and Dad, and he still wouldn't eat the bacon. In the end, Mrs B gave in and told the children to take their dirty plates into the scullery and get out from under my feet. The girls went off giggling, trailing Winnie after them. Lenny did not know what he was supposed to do, so he wandered off into the yard, through a big gate and into the gardens. He walked along paths with wide overgrown flower beds and peeped into long greenhouses. He found a goldfish pond like the one in the park at home, but it was choked with weeds and the fish had gone. There was a summer house with half-hidden ivy, and beyond it, set in a stone wall, was a wooden gate, a wooden door. It was not the door to somebody's house. Lenny knew that. It was a garden door. He remembered hearing at school about a secret garden that was locked up for years and years, and nobody ever went in. Was this one of those? Cautiously, he pushed the door. It creaked open. Lenny stood there and gasped. Inside was a little garden like a room without a roof. It had criss-cross mossy paths lined with knee-high hedges and stone seats. In the centre was a great rose with trailers which swept the ground. It was very quiet in there. Then a bird flew up with a great clatter of wings, and Lenny saw something on the far side of the garden, high up on a pedestal by the wall. At first he thought it was something alive and watching him, and he was frightened. But then he looked, and it was too still to be alive. He went over to it. He gasped. It was a unicorn, carved in stone, just like the one on his badge. It did not look fierce. Strong, perhaps, and very beautiful, with its curved neck and long mane, prancing there alone in the shadow of the wall. It seemed as lonely as he was. Lenny felt a huge relief to have found this place. It made him feel more like himself again. He made up his mind to come back there whenever he could. So, Lenny has found his very own special place, his own secret garden. Somewhere to help him while he's evacuated and feeling so lonely. What I want you to do is to think about your special place. What is your special place? Draw a picture of it for me, or write a few sentences and send it to the address as usual below, and let's have a look. And any that you send in, remember, just take a picture of your picture and send it in, and then we'll kind of put it on the next video. Okay, enjoy. I'll see you again soon. Bye.